Hi guys,
Hello,
I'm Veronica Aiton,
I'm Jerry Aiton,
and together we are the
Aiton's
Aiton's family.
family.
To this video,
Yes,
if you have not subscribed,
yes.
kindly subscribe.
Subscribe, subscribe,
Kindly,
subscribe down here. Yes, yes,
Yes,
there.
so this is another video
Mm,
continuation to the last one.
yes,
So we are going to the last one was supposed to talk about attitude and stress,
yes.
but we really majorly dwelt on stress.
Mm.
So today we want to talk
Decided to
about
do this video
yes,
on attitude.
yes. So it's a continuation,
Yes.
and we are going to jump right into it.
Mm.
So what do you think, or
Mm-hmm.
what do you understand
Mm-hmm.
when somebody says you have a negative attitude or a positive attitude?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think an attitude is just that tendency to evaluate an object, a subject, or whatever it is. It may be a person, an event. Yes. So you just have that tendency of evaluating, okay, and that thing, it's a learned tendency. It is something that you're learning from based on a particular subject. It's not something that you had before. Maybe you had the positive attitude or negative attitude before you came, and then you realize you develop another attitude different from the one you came with originally.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so it's just that tendency of evaluating things and being able to work according to how they appear. Yes.
So what does it mean when somebody
Mm.
says you have a negative attitude?
Mm.
What does it mean? Ama, you have a positive attitude.
Uh-huh.
Because to me, when somebody says you have a negative attitude, I guess they are trying to tell you
Mm-hmm.
that you don't see good in anything.
Mm-hmm.
You think everything
Mm.
has some mistakes, some has some faults.
Uh,
Yani when you have a negative attitude, you
Mhm.
don't see anything good in anything.
uh,
That's why you comment things always negative,
Negatively.
negative
Mhm.
comments.
Mhm.
So I guess that's to me means that somebody has negative attitude.
Mm.
But when you have a positive attitude,
Mm.
it's when you see good in
Mm.
everything. In every situation, you see something good.
Yes. Mhm.
You speak good of maybe things even when they don't seem good.
Mhm.
That's a positive attitude to
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
Mm.
And as I said, like attitude is just that learned tendency to evaluate something either positively or negatively. It may not necessarily be negative, but you find more fault in them that anyone else maybe seated in the same position would find, or you find more good in an event, in a person, in an issue, more than someone else may be seated in the same position that you are. So it's what you see from where you are seated or where you are. So that's what makes it positive or negative. Like, for example, in a relationship or in a marriage, you can decide to have a positive attitude towards your relationship, towards your spouse, towards your children, or you can decide also to have a negative attitude towards them. It is what you decide. That one does not necessarily mean maybe your partner or your children or your relative are not good. It is what you want to see in them. So it is something that is learned. It is not something that an attitude is not something that we can say that we are born with, but it's something that we learn based on all those factors that we have said. Yes.
Okay, and what makes somebody to have a negative attitude? What can make somebody to have that negative attitude? Remember, we are saying maybe when you have some negative attitude, you don't see good in anything.
Mhm.
So what can make somebody to have that negative attitude?
I think past unsolved issues can cause somebody to have a negative attitude. For example, maybe you are in a relationship with another person and this person hurt you very much. When someone tries to approach you, or you may be approachable and get into a relationship, when you see the other person trying to act in a suggestive way like the other person you had met before, even if they are not them,
Mm,
you start developing an attitude, maybe a negative attitude
mm,
that will really cost or hurt the current maybe relationship, be it a relationship or a marriage. So at that point, you have a different feeling from the previous feeling. You start learning a new feeling or a new behavior that you did not have before. And maybe you started your relationship on a good foot, then this person acted suggestively, and you remembered the previous relationship that was hurting, that was toxic, that was violent, and then you relate to the current relationship, and that one start to develop negative attitudes maybe around that.
mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so unsolved issues
Mhm.
or unsolved
Yes.
past mistakes
Yes.
can cause somebody to have a negative
Yes.
attitude.
Yes, or even
Mm-hmm.
they may be repeated unsolved issues. Like you keep on, like for example, on the issue of cheating, you realize if someone cheats today, cheats another day, cheats, this other person begins to create a mistrust and an attitude that is, this attitude is just trying to prevent themselves from the hurt. And this attitude becomes a dominant. It begins to dominate the relationship, the marriage, and everything. Yes.
Okay.
Mm,
So how do you think maybe an attitude,
mm,
either positive or negative,
mm,
can affect
mm,
how people treat you?
mhm.
Do you think it can really affect?
Exactly.
How?
Exactly. You
How?
may realize that people might also have a negative, maybe a negative attitude towards you, but when they get to see you up close, when they find an opportunity to work with you, you realize their attitude will start to change around you being around them, that their attitude, they had a negative attitude about you, maybe they had something about somebody said something about you, so they developed a negative attitude around you. But when you go there and prove uh, with a right attitude, like a positive attitude, there is a change of behavior around you. You realize that they realize, oh, this person is not that bad as we were told or as we had.
Mhm.
He's actually a good person. So when you have a negative attitude and you realize people are against you, it's very important to realize that you can change that. You can change them from seeing you as not maybe a social person to a social person. It's important to put your best foot forward, and always make sure that your best foot is the right attitude. Have the right attitude with everyone. Actually, people, sometimes we undermine people, and these people can be very useful to us. So every time, the best way to deal with maybe a negative attitude is always to put your best foot forward. Be positive about people, about events, about situations, that knowing no matter what I'm feeling currently, I just don't need maybe to show every time. I just need always to have that positive, that spirit of whatever we are doing. Be it maybe you're having fun instead of having an attitude that is negative. Just allow yourself to enjoy. And with that one, you'll be dealing with the people maybe who view you negatively, and you'll be able to come out clear and a better person.
So me on that, I know
Mm.
that attitude can affect how people treat you.
Yes, yes,
For
yes,
example,
100%.
when you have a positive attitude,
Yes,
people will feel comfortable. When you
around
have a
you.
positive attitude, people will want to associate with you
Mm.
because they know that what you're bringing on the table, no matter the situation,
Mm.
you will see good out of it.
Yes.
So I guess when you have a positive attitude, even you realize that your network, how you relate with people,
Expands.
expands. But when you have a negative attitude, you realize no one want to associate with you. So I know that having an attitude, either positive or negative, can really affect, can really determines how people treat you.
Yes.
Yes. And what do you think is what does it mean to be optimistic? Yes. Or
Mm,
pessimistic?
optimistic, it's when you are open to new ideas, and you are not just dependent on other people. You also create a way for others, you create a way for yourself. But when you become pessimistic, you always want to depend on people without nothing to give back. Like others cannot depend totally on you. Like your attitude is personal. It's what you're gaining rather than what you can be able to give or what you can be able to do together. So it's very important to understand, in whatever case, our attitude must be optimistic other than pessimistic.
That's positive.
We try our level best to be positive every time. What can we be able to do together? How am I, what value am I bringing maybe in this relationship? What value am I bringing in this situation, in this event, in this person? Rather than what can I get? And when you don't get it, you feel offended, you develop negative attitudes around these people or these things that are happening. So it's very important to be optimistic. Yes.
Okay, so basically it's like a summary. Being optimistic means being positive.
Yes.
Pessimistic means being negative.
Yes.
So when you are positive, like he's saying, you don't mind what you are getting,
Yes.
but you always want to know, what am I
Offering.
what
Yes.
am I bringing on the table? And that's a good attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess on attitude, that's it,
Yes.
unless you have something else to add.
So it's very important to have the right attitude in whatever thing we are doing. That develop, you can learn. An attitude can be learned. You don't need to like people for you to work with them. You don't need to like try and be like someone else for maybe things to work together. I think they say attitude, when you write them alphabetically and you sum them up, you realize, according to the alphabetic positions they are, if you sum up, they say that attitude is 100%. When you have the right attitude, even the outcome, maybe you have a goal, your outcome will be 100%. You realize you are able to achieve that goal. When you have the right attitude, your relationship begins to work in a better way. Let's say maybe your relationship was hurt because you had a negative attitude towards it. When you begin to develop, when you begin to learn a positive behavior around it, you realize there are so many things for you to be grateful about, for you to be positive about, and your relationship will begin to work. Be it business, whatever it is, it's very important to have the right attitude. Yes.
So, guys, that's it. Kindly comment.
Yes.
Tell us
Yes.
what you think about attitude.
Yeah, yeah.
Add something. Feel
Yes.
comfortable to
Go on the
participate.
comment section. What is your feeling? What is your take about attitude? Can attitude harm or hurt a relationship? Yes. So be it positive or negative, either of the above, can it hurt or harm a relationship? Whatever it's your take, kindly go ahead, and thank you very much for watching until this far. You are the best. Just know we appreciate you, and we cannot be able to do this without you. If you have not subscribed, it's just a kind reminder. Go ahead and subscribe down here. Subscribe. Press that bell. Anytime we have a video, you can be able to watch. Yes.
So from us, it's a goodbye.